All right, episode 50. It has been ever so slightly over a year of podcasting now.
50 fucking episodes.
I think we've missed 2 weeks.
Yeah, we've been very consistent.
Yeah.
Very fucking consistent for you lot. For the 12 people that still listen to us.
For the 11 people that now listen to us. It has been a full year. And what a year it's been. So thank you very much for still listening, guys. For all of your stove log burning needs, Ask Stoves, we've got 10% off for all the friends and family of the podcast. NP40JL, which is Vale Park View.
Yeah.
So hit them up because they are they're doing a good job.
It's mad to think 50 episodes with the amount of guests we've had on as well.
Yeah.
Who has been, dare I say it, your favourite guest?
You're always my favourite guest.
Oh, nice.
I can't, genuinely can't pick a favourite. Yeah, but Pewee, no, you can't pick a favourite. I mean, they were really good for different reasons. The coolest part about this is meeting people that you wouldn't otherwise meet.
I was about to say, yeah. Is it been anyone that surprised you? Not in like a bad way, but no. Like, for example, like Yoan.
Yoan
never met Yoan, barely spoke to him before the podcast, didn't have any expectation from a 17-year-old or 18-year-old to come in and speak as well as he did. Not that we speak particularly well, but the way he spoke and how mature he was about everything. I was going to
say him, Tommy, like how switched on and grown up they are.
I think that was a lot, like from feedback, I think that was a lot of people's favourites. Tommy.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
Yeah,
he was really good.
Really interesting.
I can't, like the people that already came on, like I sort of knew Mike and he was brilliant. I know Geordie, he was brilliant. Like Pewee, Tommy Eels, Lauren, like we already know them. Like Liam was, as soon as I met him, I was like, he's awesome. We just gelled straight away. And he looks enormous at the minute. So keep an eye out. World's Strongest Man for the next
5 years.
Yeah, I guess next 5 years.
Yeah.
He's I think he's got a big competition coming up soon.
Yeah,
like
World's Strongest Man. Yeah.
And he said this is almost like a cutting your teeth sort of thing. Just have a go.
Yeah.
And then next year, like.
Getting stuck right in.
Again, taking him the silverware, I think you believe he said.
Yeah, Justin was a cool one.
Justin,
just to have like an old coach reminisce.
That was the longest podcast, I believe.
Yeah.
But it was, you could, that's the thing with Justin, you could have him on and just let him talk and you're just like, keep going. Like, don't let me interrupt this because he's got so much to say. And it's almost like, it's new stories every time. It's not rehashing the old things. No. It's stuff that I've still not heard before.
Is there anyone you want to get on? Like, not even like person wise, but like the type of person. So like I want to get a sports psychologist on, if I could say it. So I might have a word with Rachel, who was another fucking awesome guest.
Yeah, she was brilliant.
See if we can get one of hers in. That would be an interesting one.
Yeah, I'd like to, obviously, like the higher caliber of people we can get on, like people like we looked up to. Like I know to get John North on would be awesome. Like we'd figure out the Skype thing. But John like North. People we looked up to, even the sake of
George North would be another one.
George North would be fucking cool.
That'd be cool.
Even there's some people that I've followed on Instagram, and you think, I followed these people for a couple of years, and you look back and you followed them for like 9-10 years.
Yeah, time has flown.
One of the he's not a massively famous person, but Evan Rutledge,
right?
Who like trains in his garage now, but he like 220 kilo clean and jerker. Like people like that, I just love to pick their brains about training and how training's evolved over time, especially like getting older or work and kids and shit like that, and still keeping on top of everything.
Yeah, I'd love to get a fighter on, like a fighting man. Just to have
John Fury.
Yeah, John, if you're listening, come on. No, I'd like to have someone from that world just to go through the psychology of the walkout, similar to what we did with like Brendan and Flash.
Gav was awesome. Yeah,
Gav. Just having that, like, what was it like walking out in front of that many people? What was your walkout music?
It's just like, things that we would never experience in our lives.
I'm never going to experience that. So
we've both competed. We've both walked out in front of like it's just you and there's a group of people and competitors
like
or whatever.
Help me imagine what that feels like for just a second.
Like dream like bucket list sort of thing would be like fucking sitting down and talking to like Randy Orton or someone and just picking their brains about the past fucking 30 years.
Have him come to Mum Island.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen. But
Randy, if you're listening, fly in for us, boy.
Yeah, we can figure out the tech issues so we can speak to people overseas. Be a cool one.
Yeah,
like Gav ran a podcast for a little while and he had Edge on there.
That's sick.
Like that is just it's so far
I wouldn't be
away.
able to speak. I'd just be like, oh my God.
Just thank you. Just thank you for everything. Because you end up
On this day.
yeah, you just go
just
back
breaking
to being
into
like,
that all the time.
you're just like a little kid, just like reliving it almost,
Yeah.
and it seems all a bit surreal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have a favorite guest, but I'm glad everyone we've had on has been on.
sick. Yeah, we haven't had a single guest, which I think is quite rare, that we've walked away from going, oh, I don't know if I want to post this, or I don't know if I like this one, or anything like that. I think every guest has been really sound, really tidy people. Like we've learned a lot from people like Mike Webb, Chase, like getting closer to those two, and like other lifters as well. They were really cool.
There's a lot of people who do that, and when you start, you almost get like requests. Like the bigger you get as a podcast, like when we first started, you just have friends going, "Can I come on the podcast?"
Yeah.
I'm kind of like,
yeah.
I'd like to speak to half of you, but it's almost like you need something.
Yeah.
You need a topic, I guess. But people will do podcasts with people and not air them because they like Andrew Tate or someone like that goes on and say some wild shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it'd be rude not to start it this way, as we've done it every episode. How's your week been, mate?
It's been good, mate. It's increasingly busier and busier. So I've started getting back up at silly times in the morning again now, just to try and get everything in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still managing to train. I'm still ticking over with work. I put a thing up yesterday. One of my clients had a bit of a diet transformation, and I was like, oh, yeah. This is just for the sake of showing you I'm not actually taking anyone else on, because I just physically do not have enough hours in the day, which is fantastic. Like it's really, really lucky that work's going well.
If you move that way a little bit.
Yeah.
There you go. Sweet.
Let me move this. Yeah, Little Lifter's ticking over in the background, so there's been a really good interest in that, and I just want to get my teeth stuck into it. Like I'm really, really excited about this. But yeah, can't complain. Kids are healthy. Abby's good. Life is good. How are you?
Yeah, it's all good. What's happened in my life? Yeah, busy, good. 5-week challenge is going really well. Seeing some new lifters, and getting some good feedback from those guys, and then some of my old lifters. Like I say, my old lifters, but my usual lifters are doing really well, which is nice. It's a bit shit on the competition front this year. There hasn't been many that have like jumped out of the woodwork, or there's like gyms that are not putting them on as much. I don't know whether it's something to do with maybe BWL or pricing or whatever, or interest or whatever. But like usually at this time of year, it's like really busy with people being like, oh, I want to do this one, I want to do that one. For it, yeah. Which suits me, obviously, with Sarah being pregnant. I don't want to be like going to Bangor or the arse end of nowhere on a random weekend if she needs or whatever.
Was yours and Meg's this year?
Yeah, I've done one already, so we won't be doing another one because obviously she's pregnant as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, congratulations, Meg. But yeah, other than that, training's going really well. I am gearing up to potentially being the strongest I've ever been, which is really fucking cool. And I was thinking about it the other day, and I'm going to put a super total together and see where I end up. I think front squat wise, I'm starting to gear up back towards attempting a 190 and feeling better about it. Deadlift wise, I know I can pull more than 221, which I've done. And bench press wise, I maxed. I say I maxed my bench, but I built to a heavy single on bench press the other day and hit 125 with no grind or pause. So I was like, okay, 130 potentially could be in there. And my dumbbell strength, like I was dumbbell pressing the 40s for 10 to 12, which is good at Megs.
It's not the same as 80 on a bar, is it?
No, it's good at Megs, but like the dumbbells at Megs go 20 kilo dumbbells, 138 kilo dumbbell, 240 kilo dumbbells, and then 250 kilo dumbbells. But the 150 kilo dumbbells has the end that spins off, and it's really fucking dodgy.
That's the last thing you want hitting you in the head.
Exactly. I've had moments where you kind of like press and you hear the like click, and you just like, oh my god, if this goes, I'm gonna get fucking chinned by the end of a 25 kilo.
My new fear that I didn't realize I had. So it was in a similar thing to you. So I bought a load of the 1 inch, like the spin lock collar dumbbells with the 1 inch cast iron ones. I bought a load of them so I can get basically up to 50 kilos on a dumbbell now, which we never had before, and you can incrementally go up.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I was doing incline press the other day, not with 50s, but I heard the bench make a noise, and I went, oh my god, I've never even thought about the bench collapsing whilst you being on it with two big weights above your head. Like, what a terrifying thought that would be.
Yeah, so yeah, that's going well. The super total It would be nice to get, if I could get 190, like in a fucking ideal world, it would be 190, 230, 130.
What sort of super total? So front squat,
deadlift,
press,
bench press. So
snatch clean.
Yeah, I'd probably go snatch and clean, but if I could get the first 3 done first, that would be nice.
I was going to ask, what? So you're not known for benching that often?
Bench once a week.
I was going to say, what's your week training look like?
Bench on a Tuesday, and I pretty much go like just incrementally. I'll just do like, I've been doing like a lot of pause work recently, which has been good. Like pause, triples, doubles, singles. Then moved into a block of just triples, doubles, singles. Then I'll just do like max dumbbell press with 40 kilos because we've only got 40 kilos for as many reps as I can for 3 or 4 sets. I'll do weighted dips. Just generic, like...
That's a hard jump to take 40 to 50 kilos. It's like you need to be doing like 15s with 40 and then...
Yeah, well, I'm doing like, with a 50 kilo, I've just started doing it again. I used to do it when I was benching 125, was I'd have a single dumbbell and I'd do a slow eccentric with a single arm. But that's almost harder than fucking pressing it because I got one weight in one arm. And you're trying to balance and then try and control the weight down. And it's just like, it's hard work, but it's good. It's been good. But yeah, my week has been good other than the disaster that was the recent UFC event.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't get up for that.
I did. I stayed up. I didn't stay up. So I didn't stay up all night. So basically what happened was I watched, what was the game? Who was playing beforehand? I watched was it? Oh, fucking hell. Norway, England. I watched the England-Norway game, which finished at about 12 o'clock. So then I went to sleep downstairs because I thought, right, I'll sleep downstairs. I'll wake up at 4-ish, get up and watch the fight. Yeah. But stupidly, I woke up about 2 o'clock. Now I checked my phone to see what time it was, and the Argentina game was being played. So I was like, oh, I'll just check the score. And it was really like tight. So I was like, oh, fuck.
Was that the Egypt one that they were losing?
No, it was Argentina. They beat them 3-1 in extra time in the end. Fuck me, who was it? Oh my God. Belgium.
Yeah.
So they beat them. And I thought, I'll have a quick look at the score. So then I was like, I might as well watch a bit of it. So I started watching a bit of it, watched that, went back to sleep for about an hour, got up, watched the Paddy Pimblett fight, which, like, everyone was like, this is going to be a proper war. Like, this is going to go fucking, like, off. And I was like, right, I'm going to watch this. This is going to be
fireworks.
Class. Finished in 50 seconds due to a choke and and it was like, that's sick. Like, okay, that was a cool ending. Like, it was sick. No punches really thrown, but it was a cool technical way of doing it. Hopefully the McGregor one lasts a bit longer so we can, like, just get into the night a little bit, like have 5 rounds or like 3 rounds of just like beating fuck out of each other. All for him to lose in the first 50 seconds. Yeah. Realistically, he lost within the first 8 seconds of the fight. Like, as soon as his knee blew out, he lost. Like, he carried on, but he lost at that point.
People are saying, like, he did it to himself. He couldn't see that happening because he came out bouncing around like a lunatic. And I thought, when has he not started a fight like that?
Yeah, he's always done that. He done that against... who did he do that? Didn't he do that against... who was it? Was it Chad Mendes or Eddie Alvarez when he come out and he fucking roundhouse kicked straight off the bat? And it was like... He nearly fell over then when he did it.
Yeah, I can't remember who that was.
No, it was Cowboy Cerrone. He came out against Cerrone with a flying kick because Cerrone was known for head kick finishes, and he came out and tried to finish him with a head kick.
That's the one where he like brought the shoulder thing in. Yeah, that seemed to work quite well for him.
Yeah,
but he's never not come out like a bit of a lunatic. Like it's just him, isn't it? And I think he's just got to the point now where 37. You're not over the hill in terms of like you're not old yet, but to be fighting like his peak was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
you think
he did look different. Like the walkout wasn't as because I was messaging Pewee at the time. Shout out Pewee, who's in Sri Lanka. I hope he's having a lovely time. But I was messaging him. I don't know what the time difference was, but I messaged him and he was like, I can't watch it over here. Just like update me. So I sent him like a video of the walkout, and that's all I as a fan. Like for people saying like. McGregor fans, you can't be serious expecting him to beat Max at that stage. There was about 5% of me that said McGregor was going to win that fight. But as a McGregor fan, all I wanted to see was him walk out to Foggy Dew and Biggie, watch him do the Billy strut around the ring, and hopefully put on a good show. Like, that's all I wanted. Like, whether he, like, I would almost rather him get beaten fuck out of, but put on a fucking war.
No one's going to be mad at Max for winning a fight.
No,
you know what I mean?
Like, if Max beats him, it's fair. Like, if it was someone I hated, and I was like, oh god, I hope McGregor fucking does him.
Who do you hate?
I don't really.
I'm trying to think of unlikable people. Like, is Islam unlikable?
No, he's more likable than Khabib, I think. Because Islam has actually finished people with his hands and feet.
Yeah.
Whereas Khabib was pretty much all just wrestle, choke you out.
I'm trying to think of who I dislike. The heavyweight that was at the White House that was talking mad shit.
But that's an all an act. Like, Joe Rogan said to him at one point, he was like they were like having a quiet moment. And he basically said to Joe Rogan, he was like, fuck me, I'm glad I won because I was talking some serious shit. And Joe Rogan was just like, oh, right, okay. And then, like, as soon as the cameras panned, he was like, fuck. He just went straight back to being the character.
But they almost have to do that, like the Colby Covington story.
I was about to say, he was probably the least likable person for me.
But again, it's an act.
Yeah.
He's like, I was going to get cut even though I was winning fights because it was, like, boring. Like, he's a good wrestler. It was boring, and he goes, I could fucking kiss.
I'm going to be the bad guy. Yeah. But yeah, so he's done his knee in. And people are writing him off and saying that he's not going to come back. Do I think he's going to come back? Yes, because it's him. Do I think he should come back? No. But like, what I think people have to understand as well is like, he whatever he's done, if he's like torn a meniscus or he's done his ACL or whatever it is, whatever extent, that recovery time for him is going to be so much different to that recovery time for one of us. Like, he's got the best doctors, surgeons, physios, like, working on him day and night, whereas us is like, oh, you've torn your meniscus, you might not get seen for another 6 to 12 months, you need an operation, that might be next year, you'll have some physio. Like, our us doing our meniscus is not the same as him doing his meniscus. You know what I mean?
But this is the other thing. So if he says now, I'm done, I'm retiring, and he's out of the USADA pool, do they still use them? If he's not getting drugs tested anymore, he can essentially be like a WWE superstar where, you know, they are legitimately injured and they go, oh my God, John Cena's back after 8 weeks. And they thought he was going to be out for months. Yeah. And they just take whatever they can to get him.
Well, that's what he did after his shin, wasn't it?
McGregor?
Yeah.
Well,
like he said that he took steroids, but for the shin recovery. But it was like, how much of that you think is true?
Is that not performance enhancing?
But it was like apparently there's certain rules that is like, if it's an act of recovery from a big injury or whatever, then it's like almost like medical use, not like I'm gonna jab a load of fucking tren in me and then get
that's not
massive
medicinal.
before UFC. You know what I mean? But yeah, so do I think he should come back? Probably not. Do I want him to come back? After that, probably not. Because I was expecting him to come out and be like fucking screaming and going. And if I had seen that out of him, I would have been like, fucking
We're back.
And then if he'd done his knee after that, I would have been like, oh, I'm gutted even more because he looked well up for it. But he did look really like passive. I don't know if you've seen the walkout.
No, I didn't watch it.
Like, he kind of walks out and he's taking like quite deep breaths and he's like walking around the ring. He does his Billy strut, but he's not like
as confident as he was.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's like fucking bouncing around screaming at people, you know.
I saw he had a mohawk. I don't want him to come back because I'm kind of like, you're almost tarnishing a legacy now. Like, that when he was at his top, when he beat Aldo, when he was on his way up, he beat Mendes, etc. He was the fucking boy, and you wanted to believe it. And now you're like, I know you're not going to win a title again. I know you're not going to be double champ again. So just, I'd rather see him just go off and like be a politician or whatever he was going to do and just do something really well.
Become the Pope.
Yeah. I mean, religious McGregor takes a big fucking a big left swing.
Yeah. In other news, Lasha Talahadza got in a fight in the Georgian Parliament building.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? Is he like part of?
So he's into Georgian politics. I know that for that much, but that's one of the reasons why he kind of retired from Olympic lifting. After the retirement, he got into politics with Georgia.
That's quite a common thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Kane became mayor of wherever he was a mayor. Who's Big Z?
Yeah,
became
Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko become like big in Ukraine.
Who's the Russian wrestler that was Alexander Karelin?
Oh yeah,
is now like a
the fucking absolute
figure.
lunatic.
Yeah.
Just who you need in charge. So he punched someone in the face or slapped someone in the face, gave him a little 1-2, like bap bap.
I wouldn't want to take a slap off that man.
It was funny seeing that fight because it was like, if you watch the full video, it's like it kicks off, then out of nowhere the juggernaut comes around the corner, Lasha, and he just goes bam bam. Boom, it kind of stops, and then it kind of carries on into like another group of people. But there's like one guy getting like dragged out, and it's like the poshest fight you've ever seen. It's like they're all like, it's like something off Game of Thrones. It's like there's one guy in the middle, and the crowd are like shame, and they're like they're just like punching him, but like one punch, but it's barely hitting him, and then they're like just dragging him out. But I just thought like they have no idea like that. It was like, oh, mass brawl in the Georgian Parliament. It was like, no, it's not. It's like I've seen bigger fights in a Weatherspoons in Cumbraden. You know what I mean? Like when it starts getting thrown and like people are getting thrown over bars and shit like that. That's like, but you just don't want Lasher in that scenario to start taking it that far. Like once he starts like crushing people's heads,
Hulk smashing, picking shit up. I don't want to see. I don't know what he's doing there anyway. I don't want to see him fucking kill some poor old man.
Yeah, just like lift them up above his head and just like launch them down the front. It's like, holy shit.
Speaking of other giant men, Thor attempted a 511 kilo deadlift.
Yeah.
I didn't see like the build up to this or anything. I don't know if it was it like in training, whatever it was. But yeah, not entirely sure.
It's mad to think, right, that something as big as a 511 kilo deadlift is starting to now become like meh.
Yeah,
like no one, like when Eddie Hall did the 500, everyone knew it was happening. Everyone knew when it was. Like it was a big event. It was like quickly like viral video, like or watch it live, like da 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 da. Same as like Usain Bolt when he used to run. It was like right, he's on at this time. Watch it. Like Hafthor is busting his body to become again break his own record at 511 kilos. And genuinely, I didn't know it was happening until he posted a video on his page. And I was like, oh, he did like 485. That's cool. And then I was like, well, that's sick. And then I was like, what's he doing? And then obviously later on, it comes out that he fails 511. Two things for me about that. It's mad to think how accustomed he is to 500 kilos now.
That's terrifying.
Like every month or like every couple of months, we seem to see a Hafthor fucking try and deadlift 500 kilo plus. Like obviously other than Colton, who we'll speak about as well, but like that's insane to think, every other month or every month or whatever it is, he's fucking able to deadlift 500 plus kilos. And yes, he failed it again. But is it becoming now? Would you rather him? I would almost rather him go missing for a while.
This is what I was going to, like, the point I thought you were going to make is it's almost like fatigue of it now. Yeah. We're just seeing it again. And he's like having another stab.
It's and like 511. That's such a, like...
Yeah, I'm not that excited about it.
Like, fucking hell, like 511 kilos, fuck off, child. But it's like, it doesn't appeal to me as much as, like, imagine if he disappeared for like half a year now. Didn't hear anything from him.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it was like, Hafthor was about to deadlift 520 kilos.
The mountain is back, and it's like some fucking like dark room.
It's like WWE. Maybe we're just WWE nerds, and we want to see like,
we are.
Oh, The Rock's back, But it's like, I would love to see Thor come back and just be like, right, I've been away. I've been to Dagestan 2-3 years, and now I'm about to fucking deadlift 520.
That's what I want to see. And like, realistically, he hasn't got that much more time to do it. Like he's what, 30?
Well, you just think at what point does your body give up?
Is it now?
Like you've deadlifted 500 kilos, 4 or 5 times now? Like 6, 7 times? Like when are you gonna?
He hasn't got that much more to prove.
No.
Like potentially like the strongest man. I keep saying it. Like when he was 2018, like the strongest man ever was him. Like that world's strongest man. He was just obscene. Colton, I think is the last strength feat of the week. Colton Engelbright, so weighs 125.3 kilos in this. So he's basically just tipped himself over. Like he drank a load of water last time to get above 125, so he can enter the 140 category. He squatted 455 kilos. He benched 277.5 kilos. And then he deadlifted 492.5 kilos, which I will admit, it's not 5'11". It's not far.
But it's
off.
On the same day as he's done
It's on the same day.
Like,
it's in sleeves. Fuck? He weighs 125 kilos. It's just outrageous at this point. It is fucking outrageous. a 1,225 kilo total is unheard of. And like everyone goes on, Ed Cohen, greatest powerlifter of all time. This man is the greatest powerlifter of all time.
Savage.
Who's the guy that's on World's Strongest Man? Colin the commentator. He was basically making an argument as to why a sumo deadlift is not a deadlift. It's just
I've seen that debate.
A competition of who's got the longest arms, and I'm like, you are. Yeah, I get that longer arms would help, but that would also help with a conventional deadlift. But you are still lifting it from the floor.
Yeah, I can't. I haven't got fucking internet.
I haven't got a problem with it.
Yeah,
I think it's unreal.
Yeah, I think at that stage it is. I see his point. I see his point when someone claims, like, let's say if you said Colton is stronger than Hafthor, bodyweight pound for pound, yes he is, but like you would have to then do the same movement, and even if you did the same movement, he would probably still be, I don't know what Colton's conventional is, but it would probably still be pound for pound stronger than Hafthor, even if he was to deadlift way less because of the weight difference in terms of body weight.
Yeah, but pound for pound,
there's no pound for pound in the jungle. Like, if Hafthor's deadlifting the most in the world, then he's the strongest man in the world. It's like, it's like if Usain Bolt is the fastest man in the world over 100 meters, but you run it 100 meters downhill with a fucking, a wind behind you, then you can't say that you're quicker than Usain Bolt. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is what it is,
I think if you see these powerlifters compete in World's Strongest Man, which is essentially the competition to find the world's strongest man, they wouldn't do amazingly well.
Yeah.
Luke Richards was like meant to be doing really well and looked really good.
Okay.
And then like every year there was like a bicep injury or there was something else. Like amazing powerlifter, pulled conventional. Obviously like would have done really well at World's Strongest Man, but just injury every year. And then it's like, again, it's the fatigue of you watching it going, I want him to do well, but it was just another injury.
Yeah.
And the next year, and it's almost been just a running thing now.
That sucks. Before we get on to some more serious topics, right, bit of a fun one. Talking about Lasha and Hafthor, what is the biggest animal you think those two could beat in a fight? No weapons, just their fists. Because they are two of arguably they are two of the two strongest men on the planet, and the biggest. Both 6'5" plus,
170 kilos.
Yeah, both absolute monsters.
I think, right, first of all, any form of predator is off the cards. Like a jaguar or something
would fuck you up.
Oh my god, you've got no idea.
Yeah.
We were talking earlier about a jaguar that weighs, I don't know how much does a jaguar weigh. Fucking hell.
But the fact that they can carry like an antelope or something up a tree with effortlessly, is like you're dragging something. Like, imagine how built their neck is.
But they're carrying it in these fucking teeth as well. That if they bite into you, you're done. So I'm thinking, like, let's say a herbivore that's like kind of puffy and kind of heavy, but not really going to do that much, like a capybara or something like a like some sort of pygmy
thing,
goat thing, like a monkey. No way. No way. Cause like, like the Joe Rogan stories of like monkeys know what you made of. They'll rip your dick off.
Yeah, they'll rip your face and your dick off. Yeah.
There's a video of like an Indian guy sat somewhere on like a tourist attraction, and this monkey jumps onto his head, grabs his head, and just jumps off the back. But he's essentially sunk his hand into this man's, to his skull, and as he jumps off, he pulls the skin off his head like a toupee, and all you can see is the top of his. He scalped him, yeah. And this was a tiny little monkey. So imagine if you had something like substantial, like a chimpanzee.
Oh,
there's no way.
Right
so an adult jaguar weighs between 56 and 96 kilos. So like a small to a medium like human.
Just less than just more than me, pretty much at the moment.
Oh, sorry. Large males can go up to 150.
Still,
that.
That's not like, but like 120 kilo men. Like, I know quite a few 120 kilo men. They're big boys, but like the power they have compared to what that fucker has.
Also, this thing is so much stronger than any person even close to being their weight, and they got teeth and claws, and there's no fucking fat on a jaguar.
Yeah, they're
100 up to 150 kilos.
Remember that trend where it was like, who would you rather meet in the woods, a man or a bear? And like some of the women were like, a bear or something like that. It was like, have you ever seen a bear fight another bear? Like, they fucking go after it.
Chunks out of
each other. And then they leave just like, all right, done now. Just walk off. It's like, if you got hit with one of those, like a bear would casually beat you. Like, casually like fuck you up.
You just sit on you and eat
like
you.
it wouldn't even bother. It would just like lean on you, put his hand on you or paw, whatever the fuck it is, and just like take chunks out of you like popcorn. It's like you'd be fucked.
The bears have got this fucked up thing where if it won't kill you if it doesn't think you're a threat. Like if it was fighting another bear, it would kill it and eat it.
Yeah.
If it was fighting you or I or a deer or something, it would just pin you down and just start eating you because like
why
are you
do I
going
need
to
to fight you? Yeah.
I'm fine. I'll just start.
Like
eating.
have you ever seen that video of Joe Rogan where it's like the bear that comes out of the woods and gets like caught on the trap cameras and it's like the biggest grizzly like ever recorded, and it's just like every flash the grizzly just like stops in its tracks, and it's just like you just like imagine you're camping, you see that fuck that.
No, nothing about that.
Yeah, so I think I'd probably say like even like stuff like a cow. Like, mate, you know how big a fucking cow is?
I thought this, right? The same thing with cows. Have you ever been up close to a fully grown pig?
Yeah.
How the fuck would you kill that?
Yeah.
You couldn't even get your arms around it to strangle it.
You'd have to just punch its head in.
There's nothing you could do.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing. So I think the biggest animal either of them could beat would be like
a duck,
a goat, or something like that.
Yeah.
So sorry, lads.
Right, going into a bit of a debate now, which we'll have, which we might even leave it a question on the Instagram stories for you lot as well. What is harder to achieve, a bodyweight snatch or to run a marathon?
A bodyweight snatch, only because human beings are built for thinking. We've got fucking massive brains and covering long distances. So you haven't got to run the marathon in a good time. But we're really, really good at covering distances at like a moderate pace. Like we can do that better than any other animal on the planet that's got legs. Like a horse will like run you, but the horse will get really tired and stop or just die. Whereas we can just keep going and going and going and going. So we're built for that. And in the grand scheme of things, like we had this conversation earlier, obviously, but how many people do you know that can or have run a marathon? And how many people do you know, and we're in like the fitness weightlifting space, that can snatch body weight? Like if I looked around the gym, like there's more people there that probably have run marathons that are, and this is no disrespect to anyone, but like somewhat underwhelming in what they can do fitness wise outside of that. Like people come in and they've just, they got like a marathon like 2012 t-shirt on and they've done it, and then they kind of like not very good in the gym, they're not very confident, not very strong, they're not very fit at anything other than running.
Just dedicated the time.
But I mean, they were capable of running a marathon. Like, you've got to do an amazing time, which is awesome. But the chances of them snatching body weight, there's so many more things that go into it.
So, what do you think a marathon runner would argue against that with? Because it would obviously be the length of the run, the length of the time taken at the sport, which would actually go against them, because I would argue it takes a lot longer to snatch a bodyweight snatch than it does to pick up running.
Yeah, I agree.
So like, I think I'm not going to do it because I don't want to, but like, I know if I dedicated 6 months to a year of running, I could run a marathon.
Well, let's just think about how you'd start, right? So you take someone who's never run a marathon before, never snatched before, and I said to them, I want you to do two things today, so we're going to train for both at the same time. I'd say, go and run down the end of the road and back, and go and snatch that barbell. And they'd go for a jog and come back, and then they'd go, what's a snatch? So not only have they got to learn what it actually is first, and then worry about the technique of doing it, and then worry about positions. Now, there's a lot of technique that goes into running, but you kind of don't have to worry about it.
No, you can run at any.
You can just start running.
Yeah, you can. Like, you don't have to have a coach. You don't have to. You can literally download an app on your phone.
Runner.
Just go, right, okay, it's telling me to run and then walk and then run and then walk, and you don't necessarily need anything. Just an open space to run.
I don't know what argument they would give. They'd say something like, oh, it's when you get to that 18th mile and you hit the wall, and like, I'm not saying it's easy. I just think it would take more time to learn to snatch body weight than to be able to be capable of running a marathon.
Yeah, I think as well, it's like, in order for you to like snatch body weight, it takes a lot more thought process than it does to run a marathon, where lots of people will say they run to stop themselves from thinking. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like the thought process behind the snatch is so many physical things that need to go into place, and the skill and the technique and the belief and the, like, if you said to me now, run to Abergavenny or someone dies, I would do it. Just off, no technique, no nothing, just because it was like, if someone dies, I have to run. But if you said snatch 140 kilos, or someone dies, someone's dying. Yeah. Like, I ain't snatching 140 kilos. So it is one of those.
Unless you're Matthias Steiner.
Yeah, unless you can pull it out of the bag big time. I'd have a good go.
Yeah.
But like, it ain't gonna work. But a question then: when does the battle for strength or endurance? I'll start that again. When does the battle for strength or endurance get harder to debate? Is there an endurance event that you would argue is harder to achieve than a strength event? Like, in terms of, if you said, right, okay, what is the equivalent? If you said, right, I'm going to go and do an Ironman.
Yeah.
So that's different. So you've got 3 different events. You've got to be good at swimming, biking, and running. And if you were to, give that to, let's say what's another good strength number? 150 kilo clean and jerk.
Yeah.
That would be the kind, I would say, that's the step up from a bodyweight snatch in terms of to get to be in a position where you can clean and jerk 150 kilos or an Ironman.
Mate, I've clean and jerked 140, right? I haven't clean and jerked for a very long time now, but I would sooner. I've never rode a road bike in my life. I can swim and I can run. I would sooner do an Ironman than be able to clean and jerk 150. Genuinely think that. I just think we're just built for that way more than. There's just so much more that goes into lifting weights. If you said 170, oh no, we go the other way with it. If we said like a double Ironman or something, I think that's when like physical limitations come into it. But I just think we're better at endurance events.
I think then what you would have to do to level the playing field is say like 150 kilo snatch or win an Ironman.
Oh my god, yeah, that's completely
different. Because then you would have to level the playing field in terms of being like outright, yeah. Like, okay, be the quickest 10k time in Britain.
Yeah, that's what that's
like, you would have to level it out like that. Yeah, then I think
being capable of completing something and doing well at it are very different things because of the stand. Like to do well in an Ironman is insanely hard.
Yeah,
but to hit like an arbitrary number that thousands and thousands of people have hit is a little bit different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say winning an Ironman is literally the 0.1%.
Yeah.
Whereas hitting a decent clean and jerk is not as hard.
Yeah. And I think you can always look at it as in like, how long did it take you to get that number, if you know what I mean? So like, if you look at Hafthor's 500 kilo deadlift, for example, like how many years went into that 500 kilo deadlift compared to how many years would be taken to do a fucking, what's the biggest race you can do? People do them over like days.
Oh, like the Moab 240.
Yeah, whereas like, through a desert and fucking,
fuck that.
I think it's weird as well, because I was thinking about this and I was like, this is quite an interesting topic to talk about, because I was like, the people may argue like the mental strength to be able to go through like a Moab, like a fucking crazy race, or like an overnight over mountains, whatever it is, like the mental strength to do like that one more, whatever it's called, just to be able to do that over and over again. Like the mental strength you have to be able to do that is insane. And I think people would argue like to be able to mentally lock in to do that is, for that period of time, is harder maybe than to lock in for a lift. However, in the same respect, in that 500 kilo deadlift, you could die.
You could die. You could die in the endurance events.
But the endurance death would happen over days of torture in your body. Yeah. Whereas that one lift, like signing up, saying like, let's say for example, if I said to you, right, okay, you're going to run around Mile Park for a week non-stop.
Yeah.
For the first, I don't know, hour, you'd be like, I'm okay. Like I'm still okay.
Yeah.
If I said to you, right, go lift that 500 kilo, you could die within the first inch of that coming off the floor. If your heart fucking explodes, or like, like Eddie Hall had it where his heart rate spiked and he nearly went into cardiac arrest. Like realistically, we could be turning around today and going, Eddie Hall was the first person to deadlift 500 kilos and he died.
Yeah.
You know
he could have died after it.
He could have died after it. So it's like, the mental strength you have to have, like Hafthor attempting 500 kilos multiple times, to be able to lock in and go, right, I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it again at the risk of snapping or dying. That's crazy.
I don't know how I feel about the whole mental strength debate, because, right, why would you have to be really mentally tough for anything? because what you're doing is really hard. That's the premise on. You need to be really mentally tough to get through this. But you're training for this. So if you've trained to the point where everything you're training for becomes easier, you don't have to be really mentally tough. There's that photo of David Goggins running the continual lap. And there's an old Japanese woman that beat him in it, and she's running past him, and she's just like, it's a cakewalk because she's really fit. She's probably not really mentally tough at that. She's just really good at running, so she's not struggling as much. People said the same thing about Rich Froning when he's competing. Oh, he's so mentally tough. He's so mentally tough. He's so much fitter than the other people in the field at the time.
Yeah.
That his heart rate is at 160 when they're at 180. So he's not struggling the same as them. So he doesn't have to be as mentally tough because he's not finding it as hard.
Yeah.
Like the mental toughness is a massive thing, but I don't think it's in the same way that people think.
Yeah. I think the mental toughness is brought into it when something goes wrong. So like MJ Egan at the Just One More lap when he's like literally dragging his wheelchair. Like that's where the mental toughness comes in. When you know you're not going to finish, but you carry on going anyway. You're just like stuck in the mud literally and you keep going. It would be similar like Cathal right now, like Conor McGregor right now. It's like the mental toughness to be able to go, right, I've had 5 years off after a broken leg last time. I've been through all the shit. I've done really well to get myself back to this point. I've then 8 seconds into the fight, blown my knee. I've lost the fight. And now for him to go, right, I'm going to do that all again and go out and fight again. That's where the mental toughness. I don't think the mental toughness in the fight is necessarily needed for him because he's already trained.
It's almost like second nature.
Yeah, he knows what, like obviously when it goes into like the later rounds or whatever, and if he got beaten up, then you would need the mental toughness to go, right, I'm not going to fucking quit. I'm just going to keep going, which not many people have. But like in terms of the mental toughness for, I think it's you could maybe argue like mental fatigue of the longer distance, you know, the endurance side of things would play a big part in.
Why am I doing this? I should just stop.
Like, you're already 3 days into running and you're going, what the fuck is going on, you know?
I think the mental toughness, and you can call it that, or you can call it discipline or stubbornness or whatever, plays more of a part with the training that goes into it. Like if you're trying to deadlift 500 kilos and you're showing up and you're like, oh, I'm just fucking broken. I'm just battered. Like those are the days that you know, you probably should still be in the gym doing something. And they like, you know, the whole, if I only trained when I felt like it, I'd never train. Like that's really fucking true.
Yeah.
So I think that probably matters more than on the day.
I think as well, the endurance side of the world at the moment, like the endurance side of sport is so fucking popular at the moment because it's so Instagram friendly. And it's like, have you seen that guy who runs like 10Ks in like the most awkward things? He ran it in the back of a cop car with handcuffs on. He ran like 10K in a circle.
Did it on his fridge, done it in the bar.
Yeah, it's like people will now, like I saw a random guy do like 24 hours of burpee broad jumps or something like that. And he's like, he posted to Strava afterwards. And it's like for clips and Instagram and stuff. Yeah. And it's fucking hard work. Don't get me wrong. It's fucking horrible. But it just seems like everyone now is going, right, what's the most stupid shit I can do? Oh, you know what? I'm going to do as many flights of stairs in 24 hours and I'm going to post it. And like there was a kid who ran for 24 hours on a treadmill. You know, like there's so many people now who have come out and been like, oh, I've done a 3-day event. I've done as many laps of a park as I can.
These people wouldn't be doing that if Instagram wasn't the thing, though.
No, yeah, that's the thing. I think it is very Instagram friendly, whereas you realize how much fucking harder it is for strength athletes to say, oh, you know what, I've pulled 400 kilos on a deadlift and not be recognized.
Yeah.
Like, you know, pull 400 kilos on a deadlift and it's just like, swipe through.
But then if you've got some young impressionable kid who's like, oh yeah, I want to be an influencer, I want to be famous, they are so much more inclined to take the path of I'm going to dick around and be a bit of a clown on Instagram and run a fucking 5K in my bathtub than to go off and, you know, train for 20 years to pull something naughty from the floor.
Yeah. So I think realistically, our answer is strength exercises are harder than
we're going to say that. But this is coming from someone, though, like me personally, like I am so much better suited to do any form of endurance event. I'm like naturally so much better at that than lifting weights, but I just don't want to.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think we'll finish on some coaching corners. Now, again, cool. I know you guys have sent in some lists for us to review, but we've got quite a few. So what we're going to do is we're going to film those after the pod and give our honest reactions to those, so you can have those a little bit quicker. But coaching corner. So we had a couple of questions left over from last time. I know you've got a couple as well, haven't you? So do you want to start off?
Yeah. So this is off. I won't say who, but this is off someone that I know. I'm 18 years old. 72 kilos and I'm 5'11", so that's for context of he's not like some short fat kid.
18 years old, 72 kilos, 5'11".
So quite slight, not short, quite slight. All my friends are stronger than me. How can I catch up?
Okay, that's
so like an honest, like that's a little bit of like everyone's getting ahead. I think
realistically, it's hard to imagine now, but like I was that once. I was lighter than that at 18. So like 18, you've got years and years and years and years to put on muscle and whatever and to build a number. And I know it sucks in the moment. Like I remember being 69 kilos, 5'10", 18 years old, and most people were fucking stronger than me. But if you've got a good enough, first things first, eat like fuck, because that's what I had to do. Get the mass gainers in you at 18, smash them in you, get the bagels in you. But it's just, for me, like looking back on how I did it, don't give up on anything. Keep the consistency there with whatever you choose to do in the gym. Maybe get yourself a coach, maybe get yourself a personal trainer if you're sort of well off enough to do that at 18. Brilliant. If you've got a mum and dad who will pay for it, amazing. Yeah. But it's realistically at 18, you're still going to be growing. So if you add a load more food into the equation whilst being 18 and full of testosterone, then you're going to grow like fuck. Yeah. So yeah, just I would say be patient with it and don't try not to compare yourself to others, because you turn around and you're 31 and you're fucking squatting.
Yeah. Who are these people now that we were worried about?
Deadlifting over 200 kilos and you're benching, whatever.
Yeah. I think that the first thing you said was bang on. Like you've got a lot of time to do this. So if you don't think about what you can do in the next 3 months, think about what you can do in the next 3 years. Yeah. And you think, right, if I gain a pound of body weight a month, which you're already like fairly lean and you're in such a good position to grow muscle, you've got all the beginner gains. So just find I would say like some sort of strength bodybuilding program if your goal is to be bigger and stronger and put on some muscle. A small bit of research if you haven't got the means to get like a nutrition coach or a PT or a strength coach or whatever. You can get it all online. You can fucking chat GPT it at this point. Yeah. And gain a small amount of weight consistently for a long time, and it'll be really boring. And it won't look like you're getting anywhere overnight. But when you look back month to month and you're like, oh, fucking hell, I was benching 50 kilos for 10. Now I've got 60 for 10 and then 7. And then before you look, you realize, you got 4 sets of 10 at 100 kilos and you're jacked and you're 23. And you're like, yeah, it wasn't that difficult. It was just a longer process than you might want it to be, because it will be. But just consistency and trying to get the 1% in anything. But food, sleep, training, and it doesn't have to be a 24-hour day sort of job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I'm always quite jealous of people in this position, because you've got the
you're just starting. Train for 10 years and see train for 10 years and see how many of your friends have continued to train for 10 years.
They'll all have kids and be fat and fallen off of that.
Like point. I remember, so like one of my earliest memories, what that made me start the gym was, I remember is like, how fucking bad is this, right? So we went as a school to like I think it was like Cardiff Met or somewhere like that. We had like a uni open day, and we went to we were in a PE class and we went to a gym and we were doing like sports and stuff like that. And then we walked into the gym, and bearing in mind we're like 14, 15, I think at that point. And the PE teachers were like, oh, there's a chest press machine there. Right, everyone get on it and everyone's going to do a 1 rep max. But it's like no like instruction, no like help, no like what the fuck am I doing? Yeah. It was literally just put it on a weight, push it for 1. And it was literally like you pushed it for 1, you took the pin out, put it higher, pushed it for 1, and then they were like, yeah, that's an accurate 1 rep max. So like people were just fucking literally like hanging off the thing, trying to like. And
no one has ever gone, what's your 1 rep max chest press? That's not
chest press machine.
That's not a thing.
So like I remember I failed. I'll always remember I failed on 60 kilos, I want to say. I failed on 60 kilos. And there was a girl there who played for Wales Rugby, Newport Gwent Dragons. And she had obviously done S&C before. She had like been in the gym. And I think she did like 65 or something like that.
Alice, I'm thinking.
Yeah, and it was like 65 kilos she bench pressed, and it was like suddenly then it was like, you bench less than her. And I was like, I don't even know what this movement is. Like, I've never even been to a gym. I'm built like a drain pipe. I'm like 4'10". I'm like, what the fuck is this movement?
How old are you at this point?
15.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I have no idea. And they were like, oh yeah, your score is this. She did better than you. Blah blah. I was like, I don't like. Okay, right, same. So that's what made me join the gym then, because I was like, right, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like demon arc almost. But you realize at that stage where it's like, you know, you're in the gym with the boys, and like I would never forget like watching my mate deadlift 100 kilos for the first time, like nearly like shitting out his spine.
Yeah.
And at the time you're like, whoa,
cool.
Oh my god, like and now 100 kilos is like,
it's your first,
it's
like,
whatever. It is
set.
what it is. Like 100 kilos, you just do whatever you want with it. But it's like at the time you think that person is fucking god.
Yeah.
But you realize then 10 years later, like I know he doesn't train anymore. And I know half the people that I was with are now doing like high rocks and marathons, and they were ex-shape heads. And now, you know, I could quite happily say, without being a fucking dickhead, I'm stronger than all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it's
like,
just a fact at this point.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
But like, your body at 15 is not your body that you're gonna have forever,
No, exactly.
and it shouldn't sort of define your confidence going forward, because you can change that in 3 or 4 months, like massively.
Yeah.
I was getting all the flashbacks then when you said about that. So I remember being in McDonald's in Cwmbran at 15 years old. And 2 of the boys and me going to the gym for 6 months, and I said, I quite want to go to the gym. And it all just fell silent, and everyone just laughed at me, because I was like, same as you, I was like 60 kilos sopping wet. I was skinny as hell. And we had a grip test thing in the fitness suite that we had. And one of the boys scored like 70 on it. Like, he was quite strong for a kid. And I did it, and I did like 50 or something. Then I did both hands on it, and I got like 68. And then the teacher went, he's stronger than you with one arm. And instead of me making the argument of, but the one arm's not really doing that much, because you kind of can't get, I was just like laughed out of the room. And I thought, if any of us did one of those grip tests now, and you got even close to 70 kilos on it, that's awful. And that was what made me feel bad at the time. And you think, it's just
look at me now.
Look
at me now.
90. It's just so irrelevant. So you've got forever ahead of you.
I got one. I've got an athlete with, so this comes from a coach. So this is more of the coaching corner. So I've got an athlete with unrealistic goals / targets. The weights they are currently lifting to the ones they want to lift, like the difference is massive. They've put 50 to 60 kilos added to their totals, which is pretty fucking huge, to be honest. Should I tell them it's unrealistic, or should I just leave them be? Quite an interesting one.
How do you know anything about the athletes?
So I presume from this coach, they're an Olympic lifting coach. So 50 to 60 kilo added to their total is over both lifts. So both snatch and clean, you would probably need, well, if you rounded it down, 25 kilos increase in your snatch, 25 kilo increase in your
So I'd ask, how old is this athlete? How long have they been lifting? What weight category are they in? Is it a boy or a girl? What are their lifts at the minute? Because if they've just started lifting and their clean and jerk's like 80, 100%. But the fact that they're putting unrealistic goals means that if they're at like, they've milked the beginner gains out, and the low hanging fruit has been picked. Like, I wouldn't tell them no, because I've thought no before and people have proved me wrong. But let's not worry about 60 kilos down the line. Let's worry about the next 5 kilos.
Yeah, the one right now. I think I can relate it to a client I used to have, where they would tell me they want to clean something massive, like huge. Like, I think it was ridiculous, the number. I say ridiculous. It was a big number. And what I would always say is I would make sure that they understood the amount of work it takes to get there. I wouldn't say they couldn't do it, but I would say, are you willing to do this work? And if they turned around to me and said yes, then I would, you've got no right to say to them, no, you can't do it. You have to just kind of go along with, okay, if they're willing to put the work in, dedicate themselves to it, then, if I can get them to their goal and they get there, then it's fantastic. If we don't quite get to that goal, then at least if they've put that time and effort in, they would have improved dramatically anyway. So I wouldn't go about saying, like, if you come to me and was like, oh, you know what, I want to deadlift 300 kilos. It might be unrealistic right now, but I wouldn't be saying, Sam, you can't do that. I'd be like, right, Sam, this is the work we've got to do to deadlift 300 kilos. This is how we're going to do it. If you're willing to put the time and effort in and not fall short or lose your head when time gets hard, or, bitch and moan when I'm telling you you've got extra accessories to do, because it's like the amount of work that takes to get to those big numbers isn't just purely lifting the number, it's all the work you've got to do to lift the number. So, you know, for you to say to me, you know, I want to snatch 60 kilos, well, we can pretty much just do that by snatching, doing a few accessories and going home. But if you say to me, I want to snatch 120 kilos, then it's like, right, we got snatch, we got accessories, we got core, we got rehab, we got prehab, we got, you know, recovery, we got fueling, nutrition,
staying in the game for the next 3 years.
You know, it's like everything ramps up, and then you know, if you put numbers on top of that, then it's like, right, okay, what's your sleep like? What's this like? What's that like? You know, so everything, the further you get away from what number you're currently on, the more advanced your training has to become. So if they're willing to then say, right, fuck it, I'm going to go for it, then who are you to say, no, it's unrealistic?
Show me.
Show
me you're willing to go to bed at 9 o'clock to get 8-9 hours sleep.
Yeah, go put it on the bar and go do it. You got one, haven't you?
I've only have 45 minutes to train after work. Is it better to skip accessories completely and focus on compounds, or shorten everything and still do a bit of both? So I know this person, I know what they're on about. So the training would be just general training. Come in, I'm going to do 5x5 bench. Then I got my lat pull down, I got my lat raises, I got my arms and fucking bis and tris, whatever. So that is what they're referring to in terms of, you know, keeping in shape, getting stronger.
I would say as long you can get a lot from a bench press. So like, let's say if you had like 45 minutes and you don't want to be moving around the gym lots, you don't want to be setting up equipment, you don't want to be wasting time with like the time it takes to get from one equipment to the next, or if you need to lug shit around the gym. Like if you said to me, right, okay, like for example, my chest session, which has been working, go in, warm up, bench press, 3 or 4 sets at your top weight, whatever variation it is, grab some dumbbells on the same bench, hit those, grab some, you know, a dip bar, do some dips, leave. Like you've got 3 of the biggest movers you'll do: barbell, dumbbell, dip. Like you don't need to then spend any longer doing, you know, it's a bit of vanity stuff where you like tricep pull downs and you know, but like those 3 movements in themselves cover everything you kind of want in terms of to gain strength, and you can get all of that done in 45 minutes to an hour.
I was gonna say, you know, 45 minutes to me sounds like a bit of a drip. Like that is enough. You know, if you're doing other things and you say like Charlie said earlier, I want to deadlift 300 or I want to snatch 120, then
it's not
you need to reevaluate your choices in your goals. But 45 minutes is enough. So the conversation I had was, you can do your straight sets, and I could still bench 5x5, and I could get 3 sets of 10 on all the accessories in that time. But the order of priority is kind of in the order of priority. Like you're doing your bench press first because it taxes you the most. You're doing your curls and your tricep extensions at the end because you can do them when you're hanging out of your ass. You're not going to do them first, pre-fatigue yourself, and then try and hit decent weights on the compounds. So there's more than one ways to skin a cat as well. So you could do like as few sets as possible. So instead of doing 5x5 bench at 100 kilos, you can say, right, I'm going to do 25 reps at 100 kilos in as few sets as possible. I'm going to do 9 reps, then I'm going to walk to the bottom of the gym, I'm going to come back down, I'm going to do 8, and then I'm going to do and whatever until you hit 25. And then you can do your supersets on the accessory stuff. You can do, again, like giant sets and just set, or I'm going to do 60 reps and just keep going until you hit those numbers. And as long as you overload the same way you normally would, you can be in and out in 25 minutes and have an enormous upper body pump. It might be a little bit harder with lower body to warm up for, I guess. I always struggle with that. Like warming up to squats takes me longer than if I was warming up to a bench. But mate, 45 minutes is more than enough. Yeah,
it's fine. I've got another one. When do I stop giving coaching cues? I recently had a session with a beginner lifter less than 6 months in the sport where I tried to teach them how to snatch. I tried 3 different cues to help them with the movement, but none seemed to work. At what stage do I give up on the cue? Do I just move on and come back another day, or keep searching for a cue that works?
I was going to say, don't give up on coaching or give up on trying to find a cue. But if I keep saying to Charlie, right, chest up, which is pretty self-explanatory, and his chest doesn't come up, then I need to find something else to get him to do what I want him to do. I wouldn't. You can give up on that specific cue and maybe try something else, or I would explain it to them in a way, or find an analogy that sits with them so they understand what I'm asking of them. Like when you have young kids who have never set their back for a deadlift before. Some of them get it, some of them don't. And then the cow-cat stretch where you're on all fours on the floor and you're bringing your belly button to the floor and pushing it away. I'm like, okay, this is the position I want you to do. Remember how this feels. And when I say cat or I say straight back or whatever I say, replicate that. And then most of the time, they can understand what I'm asking of them. Whereas if I say, right, straighten your back out, and they don't know what that feels like, that is a much harder conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing you've done wrong there is you've got someone who's less than 6 months into the sport and you've tried 3 different cues in the same session. So like, I know it's hard to not give up on something when it doesn't seem like it's going right, but for someone who's less than 6 months in the sport, they pretty much don't have a massive understanding of the movement, whether it's a snatch or a clean, or in this case, a snatch. So it's a really complicated movement anyway. They're 6 months into the sport and you've given them 3 different things. So they're already going to be overthinking the movement about what it is. Now, when you get to that stage of like, right, okay, I've made the mistake of, and everyone does it, including myself, you try and like reword it or try and rethink it or try and do this, do that, do this, and it just isn't working, right? So you've got a couple of different ways. You've got your different learners as well. So you've got like a physical learner, you've got a visual learner, and you've got like a verbal learner. So like if you've got someone who can respond really well to like you said, set your back, and they set it, then it's like, happy days. Don't need to say anything more about that. If you say, right, visual learner, it'd be like, right, I'm going to show you how I set my back. You now try and do this, set your back based off of what I'm doing. And then you've got the physical, which is like, right, okay, I'm going to come over, as long as you don't mind. I'm going to show you, I'm going to push you into this position, set your back, tell you, hold this shape. And if you can hold this shape, then again, you've learned it. So it might be a case of like, if you've given them 3 different verbal cues and they're not getting it, showing them, or then even saying, right, okay, get into this position. This is how it should feel. This is how the next one should feel. This is how it should feel, and use more of a feel approach. Because I usually find that helps helps with like overthinkers or people who have like ADHD or something along those lines, where they're like, their brain is set up to like, I'm going to think about everything that's about to happen. And if I say to them one more thing, it just fucking blows their brain, because they just go, I'm already thinking about every possible outcome. I'm going to give you another little drip. And then all of a sudden that just creates this fucking wave of, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing now, because it just upsets the apple cart. So I would be like, right, okay, set yourself. This is your position. Can you feel it? Yeah. Okay. Right. This is the next position. Can you feel it? Yeah. Okay. Right. Now do it at this speed. Go. And see if they can hold those positions, or see if they can change that pointer. But yeah, I would always kind of, if you're 6 months into the sport, I wouldn't be giving 3 different cues to someone who's 6 months into the sport. I'd be giving one, and I wouldn't be letting up. I'd be saying it every single lift they do. I'd be saying, right, okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is it. This is it. And eventually it will click. With a lot of people, you know, especially with the snatch, it's such a complex movement that it takes longer than just like, oh, do this, click, oh, it's done. It's not like a bench press where you're like, right, keep your feet flat. Oh, they kept their feet flat, bang, it's finished. Like, they'll never make that mistake again. There's so many moving parts that you might need to say to them, do this, do this, do this, do this, over and over and over and over and over again. And then the one time they do it, they'll suddenly go, I see. And then you go, right, you've had your eureka moment. Now let's see if you can do it another 10 times. And then once they've done it 10 times, you keep saying it until they do it 20 times. And then once they've done it 50 times, you won't really ever need to say
that will become the norm.
Yeah, that will become every day, you know?
Yeah. We don't have to think about, you know, the most simple thing again, setting your back when you lift. You're just doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, spot on.
Have you got any others?
I've got this will be a very quick one. I've been lifting for 5 years and I still don't really look like I train. If you had to diagnose the 3 most common reasons someone doesn't look like this, doesn't look as muscular as they want despite being in the gym for years, what would they be?
You do weightlifting. That's what you do. You're a snatch and clean and jerker. You're built like a bag of soup, but you can clean and jerk 150 and snatch 120.
The vanity muscles aren't there. If you're not doing weightlifting, you're probably not training close to failure, and there's
levels of like, you need to feel it. So like if you, like you said, training to failure, or like if I'm doing a tricep pull down, I'm doing reps and I get to the end of my set and I feel fine and my triceps don't hurt. You haven't trained triceps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you're doing any sort of bodybuilding work, you need to be at least like try and get like 2 reps from failure, because you're probably 4 if you think you're 2 away.
Yeah.
So the intensity of your training is what we're trying to say. Diet is an enormous. If you're going out and eating like fucking Tesco meal deals and just like there's no consideration into
how many.
Well, yeah, like one day you're eating 2,000 calories, the next day you're eating 6. Like there's you need to look at that.
Yeah. I think it goes a long way as well. It's like learning how to understand what body part. Like when you're doing bodybuilding, like if you're working chest and I say to you, right, we're going to work the top part of your pec, or like let's say your pec. If I said, right, we're going to work your pecs now and we need to feel that this area is getting hit, this is getting a pump, this is whatever, and you finish a set and you go, no, didn't feel it. You need to really work on understanding how you switch that muscle on. So like if I'm doing a bicep curl and I'm not getting a full stretch or I'm not getting a full squeeze at the top and I'm not feeling my bicep contract, you're not really working biceps. You're just going up and down with an arm that's just maybe swinging away or doing whatever it needs to do. So I would say like add things into your training which considerably up the intensity, but also up the feeling of the movement. So like pause reps,
the mind
slow eccentrics, where you're lowering a barbell down onto your chest and you can physically feel your chest start to stretch. Add a pause in so you can feel that muscle start to shake and then explode out of it. And you'll, by the end of each set, you'll be able to actually tell me like, I feel my chest is blowing, you know?
A bit of soreness and a good pump are usually a good sign. I know people say, oh, you can't say that every time. No, you can't, but it's usually a good sign. There are some caveats to that. So like, I really struggle to feel my back on anything, but any muscle that is a bit more fast twitch, so like hamstrings, your chest, they get really sore really quickly and they're really easy to feel. So like the mind-muscle connection thing that Charlie was explaining is if I try and put my brain into the muscle that I'm trying to work and I'm trying to really think about, stretch the muscle as far as I can, squeeze the muscle as hard as I can. So at the top of a press, I don't have to think about squeezing my pecs together and trying to tense them like the Terry Crews pec dance. Yeah. But if I do that, I'm going to get way more of a contraction and I'm going to at least know what part I'm trying to at least target.
Yeah.
So yeah, train a bit harder and just eat a bit better.
Squeeze the fucking muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, I think, we've been over an hour on episode 50.
Mint.
We're going to try and get some more guests. Well, we've got a 4-way with the big dog. Well, actually, I wouldn't say that. I won't say who's on.
Yeah, they are big dogs.
Yeah, it's a big, two big. Yeah, we're going to be a bit fucked in here for space-wise, and it's going to get
a fan.
Hot. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
The big man is going to be sweating like a fucking...
We booked a weekend off for what was meant to be number 50, but it'll be 50.
2 or 3, something like that. Yeah, so we'll get a special guest on. But thank you all for listening to 50 episodes of the S&C Hour.
As always, guys, thank you very much to our sponsor, Usk Stoves, MP40JL at Vale Park View, and there is 10% off for anyone who wants to get involved.
Sweet.